Sweet. Now if I could just fish this part of the seatbelt out. Alright. Man, I'm so excited. And I'll roll the window up just for you guys, so you don't get too much wind noise in here. I'll keep that little window on the side open just so we get some fresh air coming in. The clutch is incredibly easy. And the transmission is really easy to pick up. It's not one of those cars where there's any sort of learning curve. You could even learn how to drive a manual transmission using this car if you really wanted to. The only thing is you do not have any power steering. But since the car is so light, I think it weighs about 2,200 pounds, it really doesn't matter. As long as you get the car rolling a little bit, it's super easy to turn the wheel. Oh man, this is amazing. It's so incredibly simple, but it's so brilliant at the same time. This is what driving's all about, really. Like, this is a hardcore driver's car. Something you can hop in and really enjoy just driving for what it is. There's no assistance or anything like that. You really get to feel like you're one with the car. You feel everything that's going on with it. And God, does it feel nice. And for a 50-year-old car, it feels good. Doesn't feel like I'm really having to work for it either. The car really just drives itself. So incredibly light. It's not a particularly fast car. I would say it's about 100 horsepower, but again, we're talking about something that's so incredibly light. And look at these A-pillars. It's like they're pencil thin, which of course is not good for safety, but in terms of just like visibility, it's all around you. You feel like you're in a fishbowl. There's just so much visibility everywhere. Just really, really refreshing. And the transmission is surprisingly good. I'm actually really impressed at how well the transmission feels. And it's weird because the pedals, they almost feel like they protrude out of the ground at like an angle. So it takes a little bit of a learning curve right there just to understand how that all works. But once you figure it out, it is such a blast to drive. And it's amazing just how many people drive by and give thumbs up, and they just are so happy to see this little 2002. I don't know what it is about this car, but it seems like a lot of people like it. Maybe it's nostalgic for like the older generation or something like that, but even as somebody that didn't really grow up in this era of cars, I can really take a moment just to appreciate it for what it is. Because it's really fun. Oh wow, this thing is really growing on me. I think I definitely want to find a classic BMW one of these days. It's just a shame that these are so incredibly difficult to find. You know, some of them you'll find in a barn, but they're all rusted out, or somebody that spent, you know, their life savings putting it back together and they want an arm and a leg for it. So I feel like this is a really good compromise. Like, the car for the most part is mostly original, of course, except for the engine, but everything else here feels very like it would have if you bought this car in 1976. And I know I'm not pushing it to its absolute limit, but it feels like I could definitely give it a little bit more gas and it would just really appreciate me giving it more gas. These are one of these cars where even if you're going slow, it's still fun. It's very entertaining. I love how just these little cute mirrors, I don't know, it's so cool. I know you can't see my face right now, but I got this big goofy grin on. And I'm just having such a blast. God, this is good. Amazing. Seriously amazing. Alright, so we're approaching the freeway on-ramp. And this will be a good acceleration test. I'm not going to push it to its absolute limits. All I'm really going to do is just bring it up to speed, but it'll kind of give you a good idea of just what it's like to drive and accelerate on the highway in this car. So, should be pretty exciting. Top gear. It really climbs. I'm genuinely impressed. The brakes aren't super confidence inspiring, but the car is so light that it doesn't matter. But God, once you rev it out, wow. And look at this view right out the front. You just see these lines going out to the front of the car. It is so cool. It immediately just tells you that you're in a classic. See, like, look, manual steering. Nope, no power steering, but you wouldn't even know. Taking it up this hill. Starting to get a better feel for the car. Feels rock solid.